There are psychological triggers in a woman's mind that when activated create desires she can't control or explain. I know because I've experienced them with men who shouldn't have had that power over me. Men who weren't the best looking or the richest, but who knew exactly which mental buttons to push. That I've watched myself become obsessed, checking my phone, replaying conversations, fantasizing about him constantly. I'm about to expose 11 that forbidden mind triggers that bypass logic and create endless desire. Once you master these, she won't be able to stop thinking about you. Let me tell you something no relationship expert will admit. Desire isn't logical. It's not about being the perfect gentleman or checking all the boxes on her list. It's about activating specific psychological triggers that create obsessive attraction. This is neuroscience. This is behavioral psychology. This is how the female mind actually works, not how we say it works. Here's what men don't understand. We can't control who we desire. We can choose who we date. We can decide who to commit to, but desire, that happens in our subconscious before our conscious mind even knows what's happening. The 11 triggers I'm about to reveal activate the primal, obsessive, addictive parts of female desire. They bypass our rational brain and speak directly to the parts of us that crave, that obsess, that become consumed. Most men never learn these triggers. They try to be nice. They try to be perfect. They try to logically convince us they're a good choice. But every time you appeal to our logic instead of our psychology, you confirm you don't understand how we actually work. But when you activate the right triggers, when you speak to our subconscious instead of our conscious mind, we become obsessed before we even realize what's happening. We start checking our phones, hoping you texted. We replay conversation. NS doing for hidden meaning that we fantasize about you when we're supposed to be working. We become consumed by thoughts of you. There are 11 specific mind triggers. 11 forbidden, psychological codes that create endless, obsessive, uncontrollable desire. And I'm about to expose every single one. If this psychology is changing how you see attraction, hit subscribe. I expose the mind triggers women respond to. These 11 secrets will make her unable to stop thinking about you. These triggers activate neurochemicals in our brains we can't control. Once you master them, we become psychologically addicted to you. Trigger 1. Unpredictable reward timing. Unpredictable reward timing. Don't be consistent. Be unpredictable. The man who texts at the same time every day becomes background noise. The man who texts unpredictably, sometimes immediately, sometimes hours later, sometimes not at all, becomes an obsession. This activates what psychologists call variable ratio reinforcement, the most addictive pattern in behavioral psychology. It's the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. When we don't know when we'll get your attention, our brains become hyper-focused on getting it. We check our phones constantly. We analyze every interaction. We become consumed by trying to figure out the pattern. Do text her when you feel like it, not on a schedule. Sometimes immediately, sometimes hours later, sometimes not at all. Don't text her every morning at 8 a.m. like clockwork. Predictability kills desire. I've been obsessed with men who were unpredictable, who I could never quite figure out, who kept me guessing. And I've lost interest in men who were too consistent, too predictable, too available. That unpredictability made my brain crave them. Strategic absence. The man whose trigger to strategic absence, always available, becomes invisible. The man who's strategically absent becomes irresistible when you're not always there. When you have a life that doesn't revolve around us, when we have to work to get your time and attention, we want you more. This creates scarcity value. What's rare becomes precious. What's always available becomes taken for granted. Pull back sometimes. Be busy, have plans. Make us work to see you. Not as a game, but because you genuinely have a life you're building. Do I can't tonight? I have plans. How's Thursday? Don't. I'm free whenever you want to see me. Just say when. One makes us pursue, the other makes us lose interest. I've chased men who were busy, who had full lives, who I had to schedule around. And I've ghosted men who were always free, always waiting, always available. The absence created the desire. Trigger 3, emotional contrast. Emotional contrast. Don't be one-dimensional. Be a contrast. The man who's always serious becomes boring. The man who's always playful becomes childish. The man who can be intense one moment and playful, the next becomes fascinating. Show depth, show range, show complexity. Be the man who can have deep philosophical conversations and also make her laugh until she cries. Who can be protective and also vulnerable. Who can be dominant and also tender. The contrast keeps us intrigued. We can't figure you out. We can't put you in a box. And that mystery drives us crazy. I've been most attracted to men I couldn't quite categorize. Who surprised me? Who showed different sides of themselves? Who kept me guessing what version of them I'd get? The emotional range made them addictive. The challenge trigger 4. The challenge dynamic. Make us work for your approval. Make us prove ourselves. The man who validates us immediately becomes forgettable. The man who makes us earn his validation becomes unforgettable. Challenge us. Have standards. Don't just accept us because we're pretty or because we showed interest. Make us meet your bar. That's interesting, but I'd need to know more about you before that. I don't usually do this, but you're going. To have to convince me. This triggers our competitive nature. Suddenly, we're performing, trying to impress, working to win your approval, and women who are used to being chased, who are used to men falling over themselves. This drives us wild. Do set standards and make her meet them. Don't act impressed by everything she does. That I've worked harder to win over men who challenge me than men who immediately worship me. The challenge made the victory sweeter. Social proof. Trigger 5, social proof. Let her see that other women want you. The man who seems like he has no options becomes unattractive. The man who clearly has options but chooses us becomes irresistible. This isn't about making her jealous. That it's about showing her you're desirable, that you're chosen by others, that you're valuable in the sexual marketplace. When other women flirt with you, when we see you're desired, when we notice you have options, our attraction intensifies. It's evolutionary psychology. We want what other women want. We're attracted to men who are pre-selected by other females. Do have female friends. Let her see you're comfortable with women. Let her see you're desired. Don't act like she's the only woman who's ever paid attention to you. I've been most attracted to men who other women wanted, who I had to compete for in some way. The social proof made them more valuable in my eyes. Mystery maintenance. Don't. Trigger 6. Mystery maintenance. Tell us everything. Keep parts of yourself mysterious. The man who overshares everything becomes boring. The man who keeps layers to discover becomes fascinating. Don't explain yourself constantly. Don't justify your every move. Don't make yourself completely known. Let us wonder. Let us be curious. Let us want to discover more about you. Where were you out handling something? What are you thinking about? Nothing you need to worry about. The mist recreates intrigue. We want to solve the puzzle. We want to understand you. We become obsessed with uncovering your layers. Do keep some things private. Let her discover you gradually. Don't tell her your entire life story on the first date. I've been most obsessed with men. I couldn't quite figure out who had depth. I was still discovering months later. The mystery kept me engaged. Emotional trigger. 7. Emotional independence. Independence. Don't need us. Choose us. The man whose happiness depends on us feels like a burden. The man whose happiness comes from within feels like a choice. Build your own emotional stability. Don't make us responsible for your mood. Don't make your peace dependent on our validation. When we see you're genuinely happy without us. When we see you don't need us, but you want us, that's when we feel the deepest attraction because we're not a missing piece. You need to behold that we're a bonus to an already complete life. Do be genuinely fulfilled with or without her. Don't make her feel like she's responsible for your emotional state. I've been most attracted to men who didn't need me, who would be fine without me, who chose to be with me from abundance, not desperation. The emotional independence made them irresistible. Those 7 triggers create attraction, but these next 4 create obsession. These are the ones that make us unable to stop thinking about you. The curiosity gap. Trigger 8, the curiosity gap. Say things that make us wonder. Create questions we can't stop trying to answer. You remind me of someone I used to know. Then change the subject. I wasn't going to tell you this, but then pause. There's something about you. Then smile and leave it hanging. This creates open loops in our minds. Questions without answers, curiosity without satisfaction. And our brains hate open loops. We can't stop thinking about them. We replay the conversation. We analyze every word. We become obsessed with filling in the gaps. The curiosity gap keeps you engaged with you even when you're not there. Do create intrigue through incomplete information. Don't explain everything fully and close every loop. I've spent hours analyzing cryptic things men said, trying to figure out what they meant. The unanswered questions consumed my thoughts. Trigger 9. Intermittent intimacy. Intermittent intimacy. Be emotionally intimate. Then pull back. Give deep connection, then create distance. The man who's always emotionally available becomes safe but not exciting. The man who gives deep intimacy then withdraws becomes addictive. Have a profound conversation where you really open up, then the next day be slightly distant, not cold, just back to normal. This creates emotional whiplash that our brains interpret as intensity. We felt something deep, then it was gone. Now we're chasing that feeling again. Last night was really meaningful to me. Then don't bring it up again. Act normal. Do oscillate between intimate and casual. Don't maintain the same emotional level constantly. I've become obsessed with men who gave me glimpses of deep connection, then pulled back. That intermittent intimacy made me crave more. Subtle dominance. Led without. Trigger point 10. Subtle dominance. Asking permission, make decisions confidently, not aggressively, not controlling, but quietly. Confidently, dominant in small ways that show you're a man who leads. That we're going here instead of where do you want to go. I'll take care of it instead of should I handle this, trust me on this. Instead of what do you think we should do. This triggers the part of us that wants to be led by a man strong enough to lead. It's subtle. It's not overt dominance. It's confident decision that makes us feel safe, surrendering to your judgment. Do make decisions and lead confidently. Don't ask her opinion on everything and make her decide. I've been most attracted to men who just handle things, who made decisions, who let me relax into their leadership. The subtle dominance felt protective, not controlling. Future ambiguity. Don't trigger. 11. Future ambiguity. Define the relationship too quickly, keep the future slightly uncertain. The man who immediately wants labels and commitment feels safe but not exciting. The man who keeps the future slightly ambiguous feels dangerous and addictive, not toxic ambiguity, not leading her on, but not rushing to define everything either. Let it develop naturally. Don't pressure for labels. Don't demand to know where this is going. Let the uncertainty create tension. Let's just see where this goes instead of so what are we? The slight uncertainty about the future keeps us mentally engaged. We're trying to figure out what you're thinking, what you want, where this is headed. Do let the relationship develop organically without forcing definitions. Don't immediately ask what are we or pressure for commitment. I've been most obsessed during the undefined phase when I didn't know exactly what he wanted, when the future was uncertain, that ambiguity kept me thinking about him constantly. That's the final trigger. That's what makes everything else more powerful. These 11 triggers aren't outro random tactics. They're a complete psychological system that when integrated creates obsessive endless desire. You create unpredictable reward timing, then add strategic absence. You show emotional contrast while maintaining the challenge dynamic. You demonstrate social proof while keeping my steer alive. You maintain emotional independence while creating curiosity gaps. You oscillate with intermittent intimacy while showing subtle dominance, and through it all, you keep future ambiguity alive. This integrated system creates a woman who is mentally obsessed with you, emotionally consumed by you, psychologically addicted to you, and unable to stop thinking about you. Her brain becomes wired to crave you. Every trigger reinforce.
Marks her interest, shows subtle signs of possession. She replays your conversations, analyzes your words, looks for hidden meaning and deeper connection. These are the signs you're in that the triggers are working. Your action plan for activating these 11 mind triggers. Be unpredictable with your attention timing. Don't establish patterns she can predict. Create strategic absence. Don't always be available. Have a life she has to fit into. Show emotional range, be deep and playful, serious and fun, complex and multifaceted. Challenge her. Have standards. Make her work for your approval and validation. Let her see your value. Social proof matters. Be desired by others. Maintain mystery. Don't overshare. Let her discover your layers gradually. Be emotionally independent. Don't need her for your happiness. Choose her from abundance. Create curiosity gaps. Say intriguing things without full explanation. Make her wonder. Oscillate intimacy. Be close, then casual. Deep, then normal. Keep her guessing. Lead with subtle dominance. Make decisions confidently without asking permission constantly. Keep the future slightly ambiguous. Don't rush labels. Let it develop naturally. If this reviled female psychology actually works, smash that like button and subscribe for more truth about what creates real attraction.